So we left in March, beginning of March, to go down to Jamaica. I'll let the boys do most of the talking because Diane said I'm going to talk too much. But they did something a little different this year. The chaperones were also paired up with one or two of the students, and we were supposed to go with that individual then when they did their presentation. Brad was one of the boys that I was responsible for, and he decided to come here. So saves me a trip having to go to another church and miss our service. I still have another individual that hasn't given his presentation. Him, his brother, and one other girl from the trip have to do theirs. So there could be a Sunday that I'll be missing. If we can't make it to them, then obviously we need to videotape it. That's why we're doing this. Trent's chaperone, their church decided their children that went along to do their presentation today too. So for him, he couldn't be at two places at once. So I'll let the boys talk. I may add some comments that they've may let out.
Yeah, so the March 2nd, we left for Jamaica for a whole week. It started out flying that you could see the coastline and stuff, and then soon it was just all water completely around. It was a group of 30 kids, and I think 10 or so adults, so there was 40 of us total that were going. So we filled up almost half the plane. Next slide. Yeah.
I wasn't there.
Okay, then I'll talk about it.
I wasn't there for that part.
This was
most of the time.
This was the one project we were working on. It was continuing a wall at a primary school for elementary kids, and we had to dig about a 20-foot long footer, about 18 inches wide, 18 inches deep by hand, and yeah, they had no machinery, and you couldn't just call the concrete truck to bring the cement for the footer. So we had to mix all that by hand, and yeah, very primitive tools to work with. Yeah, we didn't get it completely finished. That was all the farther we got while we were working there, and that's the whole crew that we were working on. Yeah, it's, I think, 20 feet long, and the wall will be about 7 or 8 feet high or so. There at the school, they had the food, the lunch, right outside. There's, chickens there, and they had the slaughterhouse right beside it, labeled and everything for us, so we knew what was going on. It's the Catadupa Primary and Junior High School. That's the wall surrounding the school to block the distractions out for the kids, and it also gives them some answers to the tests while they're working. You were here for this one.
Okay, this was, we were on the left there. You'll see that this is a roof we were working on. We were taking concrete by buckets and taking it up to the roof, and I was the guy that got stuck on top of the roof bending over to pull the buckets up all day
on a ladder,
90-some degree weather
on a ladder.
So that wasn't the best thing, but we got the job done in 2 days on that part. And this is the playground. We once again bucket lined sand,
That whole pile.
that whole pile pretty much all the way I don't know how far it was.
Up behind the church, I'd say 75 yards.
Yeah.
Uphill.
Yeah, we're hunters. We go by yards. But, yeah, we bucket lined all the sand up into the playground for where the kids would play, because before this was just gravel and stone. And as you know, with gravel and stone, that hurts a little bit if you fall on it.
This is some of the scenery. This was called the Family Mountain. You can see on the left there's two bigger ones. It's the father and then the mother and then the two children is what they called it. And the scenery up there is just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I don't think we didn't have a single day where it was overcast and cloudy. It was always sunny, mid 80s.
That was good and bad.
Yeah. There's a lot of humidity though. So this was the one plantation that we got a tour of.
That's the back of my head.
They grind the coffee process on the right there. Picking, pulping, washing, drying, nulling, selecting, roasting, grinding, and brewing.
Yeah, and on this picture on the right, you can see the back of my head, so that proves that I was there.
On the left, it's that's a pineapple field. It doesn't look like it, but yeah, they had, I think, probably a couple 100 acres where it's just pineapples, fruits, all sorts of different stuff that they grow here. I'm not 100% sure what that is on the right, but
Yeah, I think there might have been 2 fruits that I actually heard of before. Most of them were green. The trees were a lot prettier than the fruit was, so.
yeah, there's some sunsets. Like I said, the scenery down there was, I mean, just absolutely phenomenal. I've never seen a sunset like that from here in Pennsylvania. And the stars, since it's closer to the border, the stars to the equator, the stars are a lot brighter down there than here. So it's really pretty.
We're not normally that high up in the mountains around here either.
These are their gravestones. So if you go to Jamaica and you die, they'll bury you and build a house on top. Not sure why, but
This picture right here, the one in the middle, that car has a car inside of it there. Yeah. It's Lightning McQueen. So I don't know.
I think that'd be a kid's tomb.
Maybe, I don't know. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, these are the streets up in the mountains. It's all hills, no real level ground to build on. And the house there with the blue roof, you can see all the rebar sticking out the top. They leave that so that it's a sign of hope for them, so that hopefully one day they can get money to build onto. This, do you want to?
This picture here actually goes back to 2 years ago when Clayton went on his trip and Diane went with. They actually had dug this area out. We stopped on Thursday when we were going to the beach to look at what has been accomplished. Now, for us, we would think, well, that really isn't accomplished much. But you got to remember, for them, money is not like it is here in the United States. What's that say, Jed?
$100 bill, thank you.
Well, you can have it, but I guarantee you, if you'd go to the bank and they would translate that to American dollars, 90 cents.
That's a rip-off. It's all right. I brought home a $50 bill, so I got less.
This little coin, what did you say, Trent? Less than a penny?
Yeah.
So for them, money is not as easy as we think of here. So for them to get that accomplished, this is another church with a school. And that's what they got accomplished. You know, they were able to raise money to get to that point. I thought it was good to see that we could show Diane and Clayton, anyhow, at least what got accomplished from what they dug out. And they'll tell you, if you remember when they did it, they dug everything out of there with those primitive tools like we used and bucketed it out of there. And if you look in the back corner, that's a big stone that they couldn't get out. So you can see that it's completely different, but to them, they were ecstatic that they've got that much accomplished to that point.
This was the church that we stayed at. It was the Christian Fellowship Church and Basic School. Inside, they had lots of paintings and stuff for the kids. It's all American movies. The kids really like that. And Up there is what we call the Jesus wall. It's a wall painted with all the different names of Jesus that there is. On the left, that is Marva. She was the main project leader down at the other school with the wall that we had to build. And on the right is Pastor Leroy. He's the pastor of the church and is in charge of most of the stuff there.
We didn't get a picture of the back of our shirts. And I actually thought of it after I got to church. It's like, no, I was going to wear the T-shirt. I don't even remember now what the back says.
Sometimes love wears work boots.
So like I said, we had a safe trip down. It was, I think, opening eyes for everyone that went. I know there was one or two individuals I know definitely were out of their comfort zone completely. And I know the one, I think when we got back, someone said something. He said, yes, I'm glad to be back. Whether he would go again, I don't know. But with it being one of the boys, I noticed it quite quickly. Some of the others, you could tell that they weren't embarrassed, because we slept in one big room. Well, 7 o'clock, everybody was up to be ready for breakfast. And, a bunch of the boys, they go to school, but they weren't embarrassed. They got up, changed, and got dressed. Some of the others, well, they would take their stuff, go to the bathroom or whatever, find a spot a little bit more private. I can't say what the girls did. They were on the other side of us. The girls got yelled at first for not going to sleep the one night. I didn't even hear Mr. Smith, the teacher that yelled at him. I actually was sleeping. But the boys and everybody else said the next morning that as soon as he yelled, the girls' room was quiet. And I was going to congratulate the boys, and I was glad I didn't say anything because basically last night. Okay. The boys didn't get quiet when it was time to be sleeping. That one I did hear because he came up and he knocked on the door.
He pounded on the door.
And needless to say,
shall we let you in?
The girls heard that too. And the next morning, a couple of the ladies made the comments like, yeah, we were chuckling afterwards, but we kept it quiet because we knew he'd yell at us.
One other thing that I forgot to mention is the roads down there. You can complain about Snyder County roads all you want, all the potholes, but down there, they literally have holes that are probably 1.5 feet deep right in the middle of the road. And they drive on the opposite side of the road, so they're swerving back and forth. It doesn't matter what, as long as you don't hit anyone, you're fine.
Yeah, it's like all the time race mode there. Like if you're driving slow, you're going to get passed. If there's a solid line, they don't care. They'll use it anyway. There can be a cop in the area, don't matter. They'll still pass it anyway. And they go by, they just wave. Okay.
Yeah, the one on the way up to the church from the airport, a guy actually passed us while we were going up the mountain around a turn. He passed us on the inside because he thought he was faster.
It's the quickest way around.
Yep. I think that's all we have. So thank you for giving us your attention.
I would like to encourage any one of you that ever have an opportunity to go on a mission trip, please go. It's very rewarding. And you'll come back a better person. You'll come back being more appreciative of everything that you have. In America, we are blessed, 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 blessed beyond measure.